Practical problems are defined as issues that require a sensible and realistic approach to a situation. Quite frankly, video games are full of these practical problems that either need solving or need acknowledgement in order to advance the game further in its development. TF2 is just one of the many games that has a lot of these flaws both inside and outside of its gameplay, and today we'll be looking at this particular problem that has plagued the medic meta since 2010. Ladies and gentlemen, I give you Practical Problems, the problem with syringe guns in Team Fortress 2. Before we delve into the video, you should know that we'll be dividing the video format into 3 separate parts: the history of the syringe guns and their original purpose within the game, the problem that arose with the meta and its overall usage, and finally, we'll be naming some solutions to these problems for what the dev team as well as the community can do as a whole. Each step is crucial to getting the right points across to everyone watching, so sit back and relax as we go headfirst into this practical problem. Let's begin by talking about the history of the syringe gun in Team Fortress 2. On October 10, 2007, Team Fortress 2 made its official release as part of the Orange Box. The medic was one of 9 available classes that was playable in the game, and with him came 3 of his signature weapons: the medigun, the bone saw, and the one we're most interested in, the syringe gun. The syringe gun came standard with the medic class as a way of protecting himself when his teammates could not. The medic's main tool, however, is his medigun, which he uses to heal the rest of the team from injuries inflicted by the enemy. As the only healer in the game, it is crucial for him to have his medigun out at all times. But when his teammates fall at the hands of the opponent, the syringe gun acts as a runaway weapon that sprays syringes at oncoming attackers. With 40 syringes per clip and an extra 150 that you can carry around, there's no problem scaring away the enemy from taking you down, the most important member on the team. This idea of a getaway tool was perfect for the medic class, and it performed excellently without being too overpowered. The idea flourished and only got better with time. On April 29, 2008, the TF team went one step further and developed another syringe gun of similar aptitude. With the same purpose and damage, a syringe gun known as the Blutsauger was added into the game to spice things up for those medics that wanted a bit more action with their gameplay. The weapon traded in no critical hits for some free health back with every syringe that landed. This was considered to be a fantastic item with no significant downsides, becoming the best primary for the medic. However, on September 15, 2009, the no critical hit stat completely changed to drain 2 health per second on the wearer, which doesn't decrease your overall health, but instead takes away from the 3 to 9 health regen that medic gives himself over time. The Blutsauger was officially balanced and fleshed out into a proper weapon. The 2 syringe guns provide different playstyles for the medic without giving up the backup concept that medics so desperately needed. Whether you wanted reliability or extra health, both these syringe guns served the medic well as part of his arsenal. However, it wasn't until 1 year later that things took a turn for the overwhelming and changed the name of the medic game forever. The problem began on December 17, 2010 during the Australian Christmas update when the Crusader's crossbow was first introduced into the game. This was the 3rd addition to the lineup of syringe guns that gave the medic the ability to heal teammates at any range, giving him an unlimited amount of distance from which he could do his job. It could also deal damage to opponents, dealing upwards of 75 damage on hit, giving you 7 to 8 syringes worth of damage in a single shot. At first it seemed like everything was going to be alright. The reload speed was extremely slow and it had to be reloaded manually each and every time you had to use it. However, as the years went by, the reload time went passive instead of active, the projectile got slightly bigger, you gained ubercharge for every bolt you hit, and the extra damage and healing depended on the distance from the user you hit. Time was its greatest ally. It became the must-use primary for medic mains in the tournament scene and overshadowed the other syringe guns tenfold. The ability to heal teammates, deal tons of damage in a single shot, and have the choice to be aggressive or defensive gave the medic every option in a single weapon. They did try later on to add a 4th syringe gun called the Overdose, which was a way to revive the standard syringe gun back to its former glory, but its little utility and damage penalty scared players off from using it, leaving the Crusader's crossbow as the king of all medic primary weapons. It's nearly the end of 2018 right now, and there isn't any sign of change or comeback for the original syringe gun concept. With every passing day, and with every competitive medic using the Crusader's crossbow instead of the standard syringe gun, there ultimately needs to be a solution to bring balance back into the medic meta, providing unique ways of playing medic without it getting stale. Solutions don't naturally come easy, but there are ways to help remedy the issue and seek balance within the medic meta. The first thing that we, as a community, need to understand is that the Crusader's crossbow is in a league of its own and shouldn't fall into the category of a standard syringe gun. It's a concept that is set in stone. Reducing its effectiveness wouldn't change the overwhelming utility that it has over the rest of the comparably useless syringe guns. We need to develop a mindset of raising the bar instead of lowering the standards. If something is super good, why don't we make everything else in the slot just as good? Raising the abilities of the weak will only help improve upon the competitive arsenal while providing more options of gameplay for the medic class. Now, I understand that some of you might be thinking out there, wouldn't it be easier to just nerf the crossbow and be done with it? But consider the crossbow's past. Even when it had a super slow reload and an active one at that, it was still comparatively more useful than any of the other syringe guns today. It is not the Crusaders that needs changing, but the syringe guns themselves in order to see some really beneficial changes happen to the medic meta. So, with that first step in mind, changing the crossbow in any way shouldn't be the mindset, but instead it should should be shaped towards giving the syringe guns a buff to their standard utility. But what changes to the syringe gun would be made without creating more problems? Well, a decent buff would be to give each of the standard syringe guns the ability to give the medic 1% uber charge for every 2 syringes you land. With this ability in your back pocket, it would enforce landing your shots in order to get some sweet rewards, but at the same time only gives a limited amount so it doesn't stray too far away from the runaway gimmick. This all sounds a bit too strong, right? However, it's the exact opposite. Adding this ability to the stock, the Blutsauger, and the Overdose would enforce its backup tactics and give it uber building techniques that the crossbow also has. Imagine having 95% uber charge just for your heal target to die. You pull out your syringe gun, you land 10 syringes, and now you have 100% uber charge to pop on yourself and escape. This is a great way to save the medic's life while effectively not wasting any progress to the afterlife. On top of that, it would also enforce a quick way to build uber fast when times of trouble arises. This change would set in motion a more effective future for the syringe guns, but that isn't the only solution that we have to go by. Another solution to our problem is to increase the fire rate and the projectile speeds of the syringe guns themselves. In realistic gameplay, it is proven that you get more damage effectively with the crossbow than with any other syringe gun. If the fire rate and projectile speed was increased, then it would have more of a chance to land shots, get in touch with crossbow damage, and make use for the rest of the 150 shots in your back pockets. If we're going to be given 190 syringes to fire, the least you can do is give us a faster way to fire them off. If the syringe gun has any chance of contesting with the crossbow, there needs to be some development and community changes to the way the weapons work and how the weapons should be redesigned. But let's look at this from a different perspective. Wouldn't increasing the rate of fire and projectile speed be too similar to that of an SMG or minigun? The needles are still not a hit scan property. They would still need to hover in the air before really making a direct impact. Take the weapon like the lock and load, a weapon for the demo man that increases the projectile speed with a decent rate of fire. Just because the grenades travel faster doesn't necessarily guarantee it will hit. It just improves the distance it can travel while at the same time put into effect a more threatening form of damage. The increased fire rate and needle speed will help raise DPS to a point where medics become threatening without being tormented by other classes. This is a step in the right direction to seeing a change in the medic meta and a better future for Team Fortress 2. But there is still one last potential way to make syringe guns stand out against the crossbow. Instead of focusing on the entirety of the syringe gun pool, focusing more on the individual weapon's strength even more would help raise its ability to be used often. Take into consideration the theme of each weapon. The Blutsauger focuses on dealing damage to get some health back, while the Overdose utilizes Uber in order to gain an active speed boost. Respectively, adding some abilities to help make these abilities shine will really add to the medic playstyle. For example, the Blutsauger could add 2 seconds of bleed on hit. The effect wouldn't stack, but instead reset for every needle you land. It would apply some well-needed bleed damage and give you a tad bit more health back while you run away. As for the Overdose, you could give the medic a 2-second speed boost on hit. The effect would also not stack, but instead reset, boosting the medic's speed and really give you that speed necessary to escape dangerous times. Focusing on each of the syringe gun's individual strengths could help bring upon new stats to make them better and improve the utility, giving your arsenal more of a kick for certain situations. And there you have it, 3 effective strategies to fix the problem with syringe guns in Team Fortress 2. Although, a lot of these situations mentioned might need a bit of testing. They aren't exactly foolproof, but there's some fantastic ideas that have come from the TF2 community. It only takes a bit of change to see something truly fantastic come from some of your favorite games. It'll definitely be a long shot to see something like this get any major changes, but giving awareness to the problem is definitely needed if any potential change is to happen in the future. Thank you guys so much for watching. Tell me what you guys think in the comments below. If you got some ideas on how to fix the syringe guns in Team Fortress 2, feel free to write them in the comments as well. Share this video with your friends and get people talking about these issues. The more people know about this, the more we can have a better understanding of the underlying problems that your favorite games have to offer. Also, if we manage to get 50,000 subscribers, I'll be doing a super duper unusual giveaway. So if you got the message, be sure to write in all caps, "I solve practical problems," to let me know. Remember to be awesome, stay awesome, to have an awesome day. I'm Rob the Awesome, and I'll see you guys later. Ciao for now.